Hi guys and welcome to another edition of the General Jerry channel. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be discussing your Raw that happened last night. And yeah, a little bit mixed this Raw. It was really boring at the start. It kind of got interesting at the end, but it ended up with a fucking disqualification. Ladies and gentlemen, it had two things I hate. One, disqualifications. If it's a Raw, it should not have disqualifications. SmackDown is as bad as it is with disqualifications, but to have it at a main event on Raw as a disqualification is abysmal. Secondly, I cannot stand tag teams. If it's a tornado tag, fantastic, but the Survivor Series thing, the pay-per-view, I don't like because of this tag match. Now, last Survivor Series was amazing because you had Sting show up, but I don't like the actual tag match. Can't stand it. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. Let's not waste any time. So Raw starts off with Roman Reigns' promo. Nothing really much to add here. It was just to build up the Raw. It wasn't the best promo in the world. It was short and sweet and it got to the point, but at the end of the day, some of these promos are getting a little bit boring at the start of the show. Roman Reigns talks about Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins talks about Roman Reigns. Triple H took things further and he said both men will be in a traditional Survivor Series match at the main event and they will have to pick their opponents. The Authority trolled the crowd, which is kind of funny actually. They trolled the Authority, they basically trolled the audience. They says, do you want to see it tonight? And then they said, are you actually serious? How the hell could you people fall flat? I completely agree. I don't know how some of these audiences actually fall for this bullshit. It's a main event, it's going to be at Survivor Series. They're not going to have a WWE Championship on Raw. It's just the way it is. But to be fair, that's probably the most heelish thing the Authority have done in the last few months. Anywho, Dolph Ziggler versus Kevin Owens. Pretty decent match, really good. The only problem was Tyler Breeze came down. We all know what my thoughts of him are. I'm not a big fan of him. He was in a VIP section. He caused a distraction. It did, honestly, the Dolph Ziggler-Kevin Owens match was really good. I felt that because of the outside interference, it interfered a little bit. And I understand they're trying to get the story across, but I think in any logical standpoint, it should have been Ziggler teaming up with Tyler Breeze, so that it makes probably more sense. But at the end of the day, they're doing Dolph Ziggler versus Tyler Breeze. I don't know where it's gonna go down. But anyway, Tyler Breeze calls it a distraction, and Kevin Owens defeats Dolph Ziggler via pinfall. We have Cesaro versus The Miz. Now, this match at the start was like, oh shit, it was boring. Oh my god, this is so boring. However, Cesaro's swing, I think that's the best Cesaro swing he's done in ages. Because, fucking Miz was just like, it was just, I think he spun him around, I think he spun him 20 times or 30 times. It was ridiculous the amount of times he was spinning him. That was definitely a highlight of the match. Although the match didn't add up to anything, it didn't give us any incentive as to why the Swiss Army knife is being targeted by Stardust. Stardust didn't even interfere in the match. He just gave him an applause. I don't know, it's really an epilogue of a match of what is going to be happening in the future, so that might give you some incentive. For the first time in weeks, the former US champion was allowed to bask in the spotlight, being presented as the world beater he should be. Unfortunately, he came as an expense of Miz, who has lost absolutely all credibility. I will say this though, I think the Cesaro swing was definitely great in the match. The match itself wasn't memorable, but I think that the Cesaro swing that he did was actually very good. I think maybe Bench Report were a little bit, that's just my personal opinion. I think that they maybe could have bumped it up to a C or maybe slightly higher because of that Cesaro swing, but they gave it a C-. I don't think it really deserved that, but I do understand that the start of the match was completely crap, and it just doesn't make any sense. Now, I have a little bone to pick with Bench Report. because Ben's Report have given this segment a D. Bray Wyatt shows that the powers of The Undertaker and Kane. Honestly, I thought this was great, because for anyone who doesn't know, I was the one that fucking called this storyline, and I was the one that said that this needs to happen. So first of all, Ben's Report, I don't know what the hell you're watching. This is something that needs to happen, because you have to make Bray Wyatt look scary. Otherwise, he's just a man in a bus stop, or an alcoholic in a bus stop. That's what he's going to look like. So you have to make it look more mythical to have people invested in Bray Wyatt. They are trying to make Bray Wyatt the new Undertaker, the new Kane, the new mystical being, because Kane and Undertaker aren't going to be around for the whole time. So they have to push Bray Wyatt, and they have to make it look like he is a mythical being. They gave it a D. Personally, for me, I actually enjoyed it. I will say this though, some of the effects at the end were a little bit like there was fireworks. I never seen Kane and Undertaker have fireworks coming out of them, but I think that they should have kept just the lightning and the fire in the ring. Maybe leave the fireworks at the start of the stage. I thought maybe they were gonna record Undertaker, maybe do it before Undertaker left, have Undertaker and Kane in like a hut type thing, or a woods, and then don't intentionally show it, but just show that he was there, maybe record it or some shape or form. It may have added a little bit more dramatic effect. Personally, for me, I actually am invested in this story. Some people are gonna give me a lot of hate for it. I personally think that if you want Bray Wyatt to be a mythical being, you want him to be a guy that children are afraid of, and someone that is essentially someone that is going to be replacing Undertaker and Kane as a mythical being or a monster in the near future, this is definitely the right way to go about it. If you look at the past, Bray Wyatt was just a guy who rambled. He was just a person that would say random things. He was literally a person that you would see in the bus stop that's completely off his tits. That's what Bray Wyatt was. But right now, you have Bray Wyatt, who is a man that now has the powers of both The Undertaker and Kane. I personally like it. Ben's Report gave it a D. I don't know why. I think that's a bit ridiculous. And that's just my personal opinion on it. If you're a fan of D-level horror flicks, this worked for you. Otherwise, it was too cheesy and clunky way for demonstrating that Wyatt is the new face of fear. To some, this is actually the type of different programming the company needs to freshen things up. To this writer, though, it was poor first attempt at creating buzz or at the Survivor Series pay-per-view. For what he had to work, though, Bray was typically in his great self. I think that maybe this writer took a risk. I think people, at the end of the day, it's the same old Bray Wyatt turns up, comes in, beats some guy, he then fights him, and then Bray Wyatt loses. So this is something a little bit different. I think writers taking risks is something I like, and eventually when you take risks, something will eventually pay off. That's just my personal opinion. Is it cheesy? Yeah, it is cheesy. Don't get me wrong, it's completely fucking cheesy. But at least they are doing something different. At least in this context, they are doing something different that fans can actually interact with, can get invested in. What's Bray Wyatt gonna do next? Is The Undertaker gonna be the American badass? Because if The Undertaker has lost his power, he might be the American badass, and I don't think Ben's Report or other people are seeing the bigger picture in the story. Now, could WWE completely mess it up and backtrack? Yeah, they probably could, and they probably will. But I am hoping that this story might be great, it might be good, this might breathe new life into Bray Wyatt, and I really hope this story does well, because I have been saying this story for years, for the past few months since I've been on this channel. I have said on many occasions Bray Wyatt needs to be more of a mythical being. You need to have Undertaker, who's the soul of death, Kane, who's a soul of fire, and Bray Wyatt is a soul of chaos. So a man who loves the chaos, who's crazy. I would even go one step further, that Undertaker and Kane know about Bray Wyatt in the past, but he only just recently came up, etc., etc. And I've made them videos in the past. But I just want to say, people giving this a D. I think they should definitely give it a little bit more higher. Is it cheesy? Yeah, it is. But personally for me, it's definitely something to look forward to. So, Lucha Dragons versus King Barrett and Sheamus, don't really give a shit. I will say this though, the match was very good, but again, nothing really much to add. There was nothing on the line really. They could not succeed long enough though. The Luchador Dragons got in the match. They score a victory to Barrett. The Luchador Dragons defeated King Barrett and Sheamus, and I don't know what they're doing with Sheamus right now. R-Truth versus Del Rio, not a great match to be honest with you. It only ended in 2 seconds, not the greatest match in the world. It got off to a hot start, but a sidekick to the face cut Truth off. It all went downhill from there. From the undercard star, Del Rio's corner double stomp earned him the victory. Not really that much. There was interaction between Jack Swagger, so we might see a rivalry between Del Rio and Jack Swagger. We're going to have to wait and see on that. Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Paige, and Brie Bella. Pretty good, solid match. Not the greatest match in the world, but it was a decent match. It was pretty decent. I think Becky, Sasha Banks, Paige, and Brie Bella did a pretty good job. I really hate the fact that Brie Bella is a heel, but she's copying Daniel Bryan, who's a face's moves. Don't like that. It's cheap pop. I think Brie Bella needs to stop that bullshit. But anyway. Who am I to say? But anyway, Paige defeated Becky Lynch, as I called it. I mean, I've been very accurate in all my predictions the past few weeks. Cause and I called the Usos. I said the Usos might return. They also might be building up to Stephen Amell versus Stardust as well. So, anyway, Team Reigns versus Team Rollins. Team Reigns defeated Team Rollins. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Reigns delivered a Superman punch that set Rollins to end the show. Obviously, it ended in a disqualification because Seth Rollins got a steel chair. It was pretty good, but at the end of the day, I have to be honest with you guys, I'm not a big fan of these tag matches, these big tag matches at the end of Raw. It's just not my thing. I would rather have a one-on-one, or if they are going to do a tag match, have a tornado tag where there's no, tagging involved. It's just like a tornado tag where it's just 2 guys, 4 men just fighting each other. That's what I personally would like to see. I'd like to see more of that in the tag team division. That's just my personal opinion. I think pay-per-view should actually stop the tagging. I think that they should have tornado tags in the pay-per-view. And then maybe on Raw have, do your traditional tag, but I think in pay-per-views they should have tornado tags to add up more build-up. Anyway, that's my personal opinion. The match really, it was a disqualification, so they built up all this from the start of Raw. They built it way up, and then they ended disqualification. I don't personally like it. The match was great, but ended disqualification, I think maybe have Reigns win. I think that, he did technically win, but it was via disqualification. All in all, Raw it wasn't all that great. I'm gonna be giving it a 5.5 out of 10. Some of the matches were quite decent, but again, they lack substance. I think the start of Raw to the middle was boring to me. Again, some great matches, but they just lack substance. And the only thing that really kind of pushed it a little bit was this match here at the very end, which ended disqualification. If the match didn't end, I probably would have given it a 6 out of 10, but I have to give it a 5.5 out of 10. Very average Raw, not all that great. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. What did you think of Raw? So let me know in the comments below. Also, guys, I have an update for you on Jimmy Snuka. It is only breaking news. Jimmy Snuka has pled not guilty to the charges, and Charlotte is next to be a superstar in the Sports Center. We also have Triple H awards the Royals with a WWE belt. Obviously the Usos returning as well, which I called, by the way. I called it. So yeah, but anyway, the main news right now, going around is that Jimmy Snuka has pled not guilty to the charges. I will be going through that entire court case. I will be talking about it live. As well on the General Jerry channel. I will be making a video later on tonight about it to give my personal opinion on it. It's a very controversial thing that's going to be going down. Everybody is talking about it. We will obviously have to wait and see. Once again, guys, Jimmy Snuka has pled not guilty to the charges. And also, there's people saying about Kurt Angle with Bellator. Whatever. I think Kurt he just needs to stop. That's just my personal opinion. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is General Jerry on the General Jerry channel. And also, guys, take that time to subscribe. Signing out.